Hey guys, what's up? And I'm back. But before I get into, I guess, what you're watching and describing, or at least telling you guys what I'm going to be talking about today, I just want to apologize about the last video I uploaded. YouTube, what happened was, yeah, YouTube told me that it can make my quality better, it can make the video better by adding this thing called stabilization. But I guess I quickly found out that I actually made my video look like shit. So at least I know for next time for this video not to listen to anything YouTube says, because YouTube, they don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, so right now you're watching a semifinal game from the WGL. This is quite old footage, but I had it saved up in my theater, so I figured why not. We're playing against TEC, and the winner of this is automatically top 2 in the tournament. They advance to the grand finals, and they get $1,000 for a team, which is $250 each player, and third and fourth place, which is what we were guaranteed before this match. They got the Sound Blaster headsets, and they looked like pretty cool headsets, but you know, I already have Astro A40s. I don't think I need another headset, so we're trying to go for the money, and this is a really big match because, you know, advancing to the grand finals in a European tournament, you know, I think I said this in my last video, but I'm not too sure, but in this tournament, it's played on a European dedicated host. So we're all 2 to 3 bar, and to go to the grand finals, it just means so much to us. It's a big accomplishment to us all. I don't think anybody thought that we would be making this far. I think Optic was probably a favorite, and they didn't advance to top 4. But you know, it's just it means a lot to us. So let's go into the topic that I want to talk to you guys about today. It's going to be playing on an unfavorable host or a bad host, whatever you guys want to call it. So there are a lot of different things that you're going to need to adjust to when you're playing on a bad host. You know, bullet registration, team communication, just moving around the map in general, you know, how to play, positioning. There's a lot that you're going to need to change up and just focus on. So when you're playing on these hosts and you decide to switch things up, don't switch it up as an individual player. Switch it up as a team. If you decide that you want to play slower or you want to play faster, make sure that your team does the same. Just because if you're trying to be the hero of the game, it's not going to work out. You need to do everything as a team. It's a team game in the end. So if you just start, you know, you take out a submachine gun, you usually play AR, you know, it's going to affect your team. And even though you might just be like, hey, you know, I'm going to play better if I switch to this gun, or if I switch up my playstyle like this, it's going to hurt your team game, and you might even lose the game for it. So just talk about it before the game starts. Be like, hey, yo, do you guys want to play a little bit slower or a little bit faster? You know, what do you guys want to do? And just talk about everything as a team, because it does make a difference, because of bullet registration, and there's just a lot. Especially, it depends on the map you're playing on. Like, for bootleg, we know that we're going to have to maintain our setup for this map. We know we're going to have to hold the power positions, and that our SMGs are going to have a tough time winning those gunfights because of the registration, as I just said. You know, they're going to be able to hit their first few shots, and we're not. So we know our SMGs, they need to play a little bit sneakier, and our assault rifles need to hold down those power spots on this map. So let's say on another map, let's say Dome. That's a big running gun map. You're going to be relying on your SMGs to get maybe those sneak pulls. Maybe you're going to, you know, have 3 guys play kind of slow and just have, you know, some SMG guy, your SMG player, just, you know, try to get as many touches on the flag as you can. You know, there are a lot of different things you can do as a team, and it all depends on what you're comfortable with. So I said before that it also affects your communication. A lot of times when, I guess, I'm watching streams or spectating players and just listening in on them, and they're playing on a bad host, just it seems like every other word out of them, every other call is complaining. You know, it really does affect your team communication. I mean, how would you like it if you're playing, you know that everybody knows the host is bad on your team, everybody knows that it sucks, that your bullets are not connecting, and every other call is like, man, it's laggy, man, this connection is so bad, man, my bullets don't register. You know, it gets annoying to your teammates, and it's just quite frankly, it's not effective communication. It's not what you want to be hearing during game. So instead of saying those things, just keep calling out, keep, you know, doing your regular call outs. Just don't complain. There's really no other way to put it. Every time I play, I try to complain as little as possible. I believe there are even some games where I don't complain at all, which that's really how you want to communicate. Complaining and shit talking during the game, it takes away communication, even though, you know, someone might argue that shit talking might, you know, hype up your team a little bit. It still affects the team communication to a certain extent. Now, getting back to the kind of the map you're playing on when you're on a bad host, positioning will help you out a ton. If you put yourself in a bad position on the map to let yourself, you know, win some extra gunfights or just hold spots on the map, like for example, we're playing on bootleg, so I think this was Dito right here. He was holding down platform, and that just helps us out so much. If we know, hey, you know, Dito's watching platform, he's in a nice head glitch, maybe over near blocks, maybe just up against the railing where he was. We know that we could trust Dito with that spot, and we could push around the whole other map. So, where's some other spots? Let's go street. There's an overturned dumpster. If you have a teammate there, I think Liar was there for a few times during this game. He was just watching the street spawn. So we know that if they spawn street, they're either going to be really weak off spawn, or Liar's going to get the kill. At least we know that Liar's watching it. He's going to communicate everything that comes by through street. And once again, you know, this comes back to communication. You know, the more information, the better. If you have a player that's able to watch so much, you know, and just give you so much information, like if he doesn't see anybody street, then that means we know they're spawning somewhere else, either on their flag peg, outside cages, and then we're more aware of those areas. But let's talk about bullet registration a bit. I think this comes into factor mainly on in a European connection like we're playing on. A lot of times you'll see that, at least during a live stream, maybe not in theater, that it'll take like 2 to 3 bullets before our bullets start connecting onto their bodies, whereas, you know, obviously the people we're playing against, the Europeans, their bullets connect rather fast. And that's why you want to go into better positions, because better positioning as in like head glitches and tower spots. But it's all because of bullet registration. You want to put yourself in a position where, because you know your bullets aren't going to connect for, you know, 2 to 3 shots, that you're going to be safe and that the other person will have at least time as possible to react, and it's going to be a tough shot for them, because yeah, we all know how tough it is to get someone out of a head glitch, especially if they have a pretty good shot. Like my teammates Liar and Dito and Parasite, they all have really good shots. And something else you need to do as a team is just capitalize on your opportunities. You saw it in that first half where Tommy went clutch. We were running the flag and Parasite missed the call on him, and I missed the call on him as well. We really should have had that cap, and we should have been up 2-0 going into the half. But, you know, we just didn't rotate back with the flag carrier, which is what we needed at that time. And even right here, what's coming up, I stopped watching Liar's back for like 2 seconds because I didn't think anybody would be coming behind him. Liar actually gets taken out like right around here. Fortunately enough, you know, he kept running and kept moving forward, and we're able to get his cap. But if they got that flag return, I don't know if he would have won this game or this map. You know, you just gotta make sure that when you get that setup going, when you're in your ideal setup, you have the spawn trap going, you need to capitalize on those opportunities, because you don't know when that's going to happen again. Especially since, you know, the other team has, you know, a pretty big advantage, at least host-wise. You know, their bullets are connecting, as I said before, and all that stuff. Now, since your bullets aren't going to connect, I feel like I've been repeating that along for like so many times, but because your bullets aren't connecting as you're used to, you're going to have to adjust your shot a little bit, whether it's just kind of leading your shot as the Halo players do, or, you know, shooting a bit earlier, maybe taking, I would say, I'm going to say taking less risks with your shot. Sometimes players have a small line of sight or a window of opportunity to make the shot, and they'll take it just because they know their shots are going to connect. You can't do that on an unfavorable host, just because your bullets, the 2-3 shots that you're used to killing them with, they're just going to go right through him. They're not going to connect at all. So you just got to make sure you adjust to the host, and make sure that the shots you're taking are going to be, you know, I guess 80% chance of getting the kill. Rather than, you know, if you're on your own host, which your team's all comfortable with, you might take, you know, some risky shots that, you know, quite frankly, you might not get those on other hosts. What else do I want? It looks like this is wrapping up. You know, there's like 25 seconds left. Hopefully, you know, these little tips and tricks or just explanations help you guys out a little bit. So next time you play on an unfavorable host, I guess you perform a little better, or you know your team communicates better, or you just overall everything is just fundamentally sound for you guys. But that's gonna be it for me today. I might re-upload the last video I uploaded about, you know, the update and the lockdown CTF against Phobia. I might re-upload that just because, you know, maybe the quality will be a little bit better. If you guys want me to, just let me know in the comments. I might actually try to upload another video today, so be on the lookout for that. And I'll definitely see you guys later. There's a scoreboard, and see you guys.